Andor season 2 was incredible. Once that season finale, that series finale dropped, and after I watched Rogue One again for the 20th time, I decided I need a ton of those characters from Andor in figure form. Still need a bunch from Rogue One, but we'll get into that later. But I was like, man, the one great thing about Hasbro with any Star Wars property, be it TV or movie, they'll eventually get to all the important characters. It might take 1 year, it might take a decade before we get them, but we will. The thing with Andor, though, there's so many great characters that I need in my collection right now. So I decided to come up with a top 10 list, the most important characters that need to become a priority for Hasbro as they're doing more Andor season 2 figures. Then I was like, top 10 is not enough. Let's do top 15. I think that'll cover it all. So I'm going to break my choices down. Of course, I want to hear from you about which Andor season 2 characters we need to see from Hasbro on the Black Series line right now. What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. Now, for this list of characters, I didn't want to go with the variant outfits for too many. I think I have like two. For the most part, these are characters that just haven't been done yet from Hasbro. I've got a couple exceptions, of course, but most of these are first time in the line. So let's get into it. My first one's probably going to be the most controversial because it was like, which way to go? You probably know which character I'm talking about. That disclaimer. Bale Organa. We still don't have this guy in the Black Series line. It is driving me now nuts because there's so many looks. Now, I use this particular image, not the one from Obi-Wan Kenobi, not the one from Revenge of the Sith, because it's like, hey, there's a ton of crossover from the Rogue One looks from Andor season 2. Naturally, of course, this is not one of them because Jimmy Smits was not playing the role of Bale in season 2 of Andor. That kind of made me go, well, instead of going with the Jimmy Smits Rogue One look, let's go with this one, Benjamin Bratt, as he's reporting in the Senate. I love this outfit. Anyway, it looks great. Benjamin Bratt's a cool looking dude, and he played the role really well. I need so many more versions of Bale, and I definitely want to see them do the Revenge of the Sith look. I think that's probably my priority for him. And then I want to see an Obi-Wan Kenobi. So then we can get our Andor look later. And then I still need my Rogue One look. But I think for an Andor season 2, being very specific with that, this is the look for Bale Organa I want to see, in addition to at least 3 other versions of Bale. So that's my number one. And like I said, it's going to be my most controversial one just because I'm mixing up a little bit. Next up is my first variant because we already got this character in season 1, those wave rollouts of figures. But this look is so important. And there's 2. I'm not really sure which way I want to go with for this particular character. She still needs her iconic look, which I can kind of fudge with this choice. So my number 2 one, Mon Mothma. Now, of all the moments in season 2, she's got a lot. She's got the EDM dance party for the reception. Maybe that's not the best look for a figure, but I think this one is really a strong choice. This is her delivering that killer speech about the Emperor, the monster that they let talk and yell and lie too long. This is a really awesome look for her. And I would love if they would include finally some Senate pods. That'd be awesome because I could put a Padme, a Bail Organa figure, Palpatine in them, and it just be cool. Maybe I get an ET figure and throw one of those in there as well. Jar Jar Binks. I would love to get this. Maybe we could get like a deluxe set with Mon in this pod, and that way I could also get Mon in her traditional Rebel Alliance leader look. Now, this is how she was in Rogue One. She's got this deal, but it's basically what she looked like in Andor. And I would so love to get this for her because we still don't have a Revenge of the Jedi look for mine, which is crazy. But this is pretty much solves the deal. Maybe they can throw in an additional head sculpt of the original Mon Mothma actress. But yeah, we got to get this. This is what she was rocking as season 2 of Andor came to its conclusion. So I would love to see this look from Mon Mothma. So that's my first 2. Gotta get our major characters from the rebellion in here. That means I've got to add another one. One of the generals, the one who was kind of roguish on his own and definitely lasted past the Battle of Yavin. In some cases, some of those other leaders did not. Talking about my guy, General Draven. This dude is so like, yeah, I don't care what the rest of them are saying, Cassian. We're killing Galen Urso. He's a liability. Take him out. And he's like really cool because he just doesn't care. He's like breaking rules. That's what Cassian also learned from, just like he learned from Luthen. So he's following Draven's lead. And Draven is kind of cool because he is absolutely not like the rest of them. And I want to kind of have my rebel high command. So we've got my Bale Organa, we've got Mon Mothma in this line already. So we've got those two. General Draven would be great to add as well. So we can start having those major players around the circle. So I can have my Cassian and Jyn Erso in their Rogue One looks talking to them. So got to get those three. I think those are so important. It's wild that we don't have those characters in the line yet. And speaking of another big player from Rogue One, maybe he's not a big player, but if you've been watching Andor from season 1 to season 2, this guy needs a figure. He's been too long. He's overdue. Talking about Sergeant Melchior. And he was in the prison with Cassian, which was really cool. And I totally blanked when I was watching season 2. Who's the dude raising his hand? Oh, that's my gun. I was like, oh, right, my guy. And he even goes on a mission with Cassian and K2SO. So that was fun to get him a little bit more burn, a little bit more screen time. So that was really cool to see him here. I think this would be a cool Rogue, well, not Rogue One, season 2 look, but got to get him in his Rogue One attire too. So this is another one of those toss-up deals. He is rocking this attire in the closing moments of season 2. So I could fudge because we need to get one of Melchior. He's been around too long now not to have a figure. So I'm leaning more towards this look, but the true detective Melchior hanging out with Cassian, K2, that would be fine too. So we've got 4 people. Let's go with another person who's very integral to everything going on with the rebellion. And I'm talking about a character you might not be thinking I'm going to go with next. Talking about Erskin SM. He's crucial because he's basically serving Luthen undercover, protecting Mon Mothma. And he's like got her back in a way she doesn't even know. And this dude is just chilling, hobnobbing with all the senators. Like, oh yeah, I'm checking this place for bugs because I'm hanging out with Clea and we're making sure we got all this stuff straight. He's so vital and so important. And then when Mon is making her big escape out of the Senate, he's right there. So he's got her back, hanging out with Cassian, and he doesn't get killed. So that's cool. Let's see another look at him. This is basically the look we need to see from him from the Black Series line. And, you know, definitely got to make sure he's got the soft goods set up here so his robe does not hinder his articulation, because my guy needs to be able to reach for his gun and blast away as necessary. Now, here's a character that is an absolute cheat because, like Melchi, he's appearing in his Rogue One look right at the end, but I don't care because I've wanted this guy in the Black Series line for a minute. And I'm talking about Powell. Powell's right there at the Battle of Jeddah. He looks so cool. It's like, oh man, I gotta get a figure of this guy. And we haven't gotten him yet. So here's our best way to get him. If we're not gonna get him from the Rogue One banner lineup, we'll just put him in here in this Andor. And this is one of those quick cameo moments, but it works. So we can use our timeliness deal because we have our latest director Krennic. He's not from Rogue One. He's listed as Andor season 2. So here we go. We get Powell, season 2 of Andor. Call it a night. He's got such a unique look and would be such a great addition to the Rogue One, to the Andor display. I mean, let's get this guy in figure form. He looks too cool. So got him. Next up, one of the most important characters in all of Andor. We've got Luthen already. So we've got to have his right hand, the cub to his lone wolf. Talking about Clea. Clea is one where they need to do a couple of versions of her because she's got so many different looks. I think for her first figure, we need to get her at the comms, rocking the communications all over the galaxy. Because this is the signature look for her. So this one, I think, should be her first figure. But if we're going to get another one, I would absolutely want this deal with the hood because it looks cool. It kind of has that whole, hey, we're a little teasing a little Princess Leia action for you here. So that's cool because, I mean, she really does look like Princess Leia. So this knitted hooded deal, they were made for a really cool look. We got Luthen already, and he changes up his outfits, but this is fine. The one we already have, but we need a Clea. She is way too important to not have at this point, and we gotta get her. So, I mean, if we don't get her from season 2, what is Hasbro even doing? And I feel like she's one of the safer bets. So for sure, get Clea. Next up, keeping the Rogue One party going, thanks to their appearances in Andor season 2. Talking about the two brothers, Benthic and Andro. These guys just look cool. I mean, I could come up with a wave of Saw Gerrera grunts that would be really fun to add. And these guys really stand up. Of course, the abominable snowman, he's also got rocking with him. But these guys look cool. And the great thing about them, their outfits are so different that it just isn't a basic, oh, we'll just change up some paint. Here you go. Now we got to get a full on different look. But I would be totally down to get these guys in a 2-pack. So that's my cheat. That's my 8A and 8B choice. So if you want to fudge and call it 16, I won't argue with you. But I think these guys have such a great look. We need to get them in the Black Series line. Now moving on to number 9, another character who's been around in Andor for a minute, almost makes it through right to the end. I'm talking about this guy here, Sirill Karn. Sirill's been involved in all this right from the jump. He's been chasing after Cassian for a full season, encounters him, not really, sort of, but he never really understands who he's dealing with. And I think this look from season 2, probably the best one to go with for him. He's in charge of his own office. He's dealing and wheeling, hanging out with the Gamorrean folks, and not even understanding that he too is being played. So I really like this look for him. I think we need to get that. Maybe later on we can get a bruised and battered Sirill, but for now, that clean cut, everything's perfectly attired, laid out manicure, just the way Mama likes it. And maybe he's got a throw on a WWE "I'm Your Mommy" t-shirt. That would be cool too. Anyway, Sirill needs to get a figure. I mean, why are we not having him so far in the line? So let's get that, make that happen now, thanks to him being all around. While I'm talking about characters in the ISB or hanging out with the ISB, I need to recalibrate my expectations because this guy just needs to get it because he's too cool not to. Talking about Major Partagaz. This dude just delivers the lines so great. I mean, I'll settle for him with the trench coat, the normal ISB outfit. You see Dedra, we see Lonnie Young in the background, but Partagaz is so funny. He's just like quick with the quips, biting dialogue. He's just running the room, and the only guy that he kind of backs off with when they show up is director credit. But he is a really key figure in this whole deal, and he's worth getting a figure for in the Black Series line. I can never have enough Imperial officers, leaders, admirals, and Partagaz is so cool. Let's see him done, preferably with a bitter beer head sculpt just like that. And then I'm going to keep going with my ISB crew because there's so many to get to. Let's do Supervisor Hurt. This is Dedra's right-hand man who then gets a seat at the big boys table, and he chases after Cassian, and he does not come out all that well from that encounter. But he's a really basic setup. The ISB attire, we've seen it with Krennic. We've seen it with Dedra, but he's a really easy figure for them to do. Just throwing a different head sculpt. We're all good. But he's one that would be really fun to get to the collection simply because he's got such an expanded and a bigger role in season 2 of Andor. Next up is a guy I already mentioned, but he's too important. And he, more so than any other character, sacrifices everything. He's so important to everything because he doesn't have a happy ending, but I'm not going to spoil everything for you on that. Hopefully, if you've been watching this video at this point, you've already watched season 2. I'm talking about this guy, Lonnie Young. Lonnie is a longtime mole within the ISBs, reporting to Luthen, giving him all these important, juicy details. And Lonnie is like, dude, I need to get out of this thing. He's the one that gives Luthen the heads up on the Death Star and like, hey, something big is coming down. I need to get out of this deal. Lonnie, I'm not sure if I just want him in the ISB outfit. He's got several different looks. He's got a great scene basically every time he shows up, but he's got a really good one with Clea and Director Krennic. So that would be kind of fun to reenact that. So we could have him here in this attire, this look. Again, he'd be really simple because he's got the Director Krennic body all set. We just need a new head sculpt. If they wanted to make him skinnier, I wouldn't be upset with that. But I know how these molds work and how, we don't really need a full-on new sculpt just for him. But I think Lonnie definitely needs a figure. Just so I can reenact that moment with him and Luthen. So then he is number 12. We're almost done. This is rolling fast. I talked about the ISB. We've already kind of got this, but I need to get the big heavy. Talking about Sergeant Geral. These names are always funny to me to pronounce. Sergeant Geral is right there. He is with Supervisor Hurt when they're closing in on Cassian, Clea, and Melchi. And he is the one that's like, oh, this droid, K2SO, not to be messed with. And he's a little bit bigger, a little bit more imposing and towering than some of those other ISB tactical officers. They've released a really cool figure, but I need a bigger one just for Sergeant Geral because he looks really imposing. I kind of like the deal where we basically have a stormtrooper outfit, but we're seeing their faces. And he's a dude who actually looks intimidating without the stormtrooper helmet. So I kind of dig that and would love to see him in figure form. I feel like he wouldn't be too hard to get to because they've basically done that mold already. But yeah, I'd love to see him with a larger buck. No, he was 13. Next up is another key character from the whole series. Talking about Wilmont needs to get a figure. I mean, again, he was around for all of season 1, all of season 2. Wilmont is around for so many important things. He sees what happens in Gamora. Shoot grief. He is right there when everything is getting raped and pillaged by the Empire. And the Gorm folks are just running scared. And he is right there with Cassian when he meets K2SO. So he's right there in so many other important moments throughout this season. Definitely would love to see him done in figure form. He's got different looks. So he's one. They should probably knock out one figure so we can get many more later on down the road. He's number 14. My last character from this. She's really important too. She kind of gets screwed over at the end because it's just like not everybody can make it out of this deal. Talking about Senta. We already have a Vel figure based on her look for season 1. Again, I tried really hard to avoid, let's get them in their season 2 looks. I think Hasbro's got that covered, but there's some other characters who need their first one. Senta absolutely needs one, and she's got a cool look throughout this season, and I thought she would make for a really good figure. Here's another look of her, and this is where she and Bale are meeting with the Gorman folks, and they're like, all right, here's your strategy. Here's what you really got to do. I think this would be a great look for her. Almost enough that we can kind of fudge along the lines here with Val's outfits. If you want to do a 2-pack of them, kind of makes sense in the context of them as a duo fighting on behalf, pulling off these missions for Luthen. But yeah, love to see Senta as well. So my top 15/16 Andor season 2 figures that I need to see. Bale Organa, specifically from season 2, played by Benjamin Bratt. Mon Mothma, probably Rebel leader look, but I would love a deluxe one with her Senate pod that I can have her sit in or stand in and have some other senators sit down by her side. Then I need General Draven, Sergeant Melchi, Erskin SM, Pow, Clea, the two brothers or egg mates, Benthic and Andro, Sirill Karn, Major Partagas, Lonnie Young, Supervisor Hurt, Sergeant Geral, Wilmont, last but not least, Senta. Andor is great. I know we're going to see more figures coming from Hasbro, but these are the ones I think we really need to get fast tracked because they're so important to the story. Which characters do you want to see from Andor season 2? Which 5, what 10, what 21 to 20 figures do you want to see coming up soon from Hasbro? Let me know in the comments as always. And thank you so much for watching. This episode of Loud's Figure Files has been filed.